that if you have kombucha in your refrigerator and it's been kind of a long time.
This reminds me of the last time I made kombucha. I bought a kombucha kit twice actually, and I made several batches of kombucha until this last batch a couple of years ago. See, if you don't know how you make kombucha, basically you can brew it in just like a gallon-sized glass jar that you can buy with the kit, and then you brew up black tea with green tea, or green, some combination thereof, and then you also brew it up with a lot of sugar, and then you have basically a gallon of this sweet tea, and you put a SCOBY in it. Looks like an alien, and this living thing looks like a mushroom once it's all kind of like fermented. Literally looks like an alien in the jar. But anyway, you do that. You basically brew the sweet tea, throw in the SCOBY, you put a cheesecloth over the top of the gallon jar, and then you put that up in your closet or some dark place for about a week so that the tea can ferment. The SCOBY can consume the sugars in the tea and the caffeine and start to produce this sort of fermented, effervescent kombucha. Well, then from there you can do a second brew, where you can add in like fruit and other juices and flavorings to make your kombucha however you would like it. So this particular time, this last batch that I did a few years ago, my parents were moving out of their house, and I had been living with them at the time, and they were trying to sell the house, and it was about, I don't know, a week and a half before closing. 2 weeks, let's say, 2 weeks. And I was just me and a few odds and ends of furniture that I had there, nothing else. Like literally in the kitchen, I was eating my dinner off of a Home Depot bucket. And then my mom saw that and she brought over a poker card table. Anyway, I was brewing kombucha, and I had decided to make chia seed kombucha. You've seen that in the store maybe, where you take chia seeds and you can put it in the kombucha. It's kind of an interesting texture. I think it tastes good. And so I did the first brew. You just do the sweet tea mixture for a week. And then I had a couple of saved up bottles, empty bottles of GT's kombucha, which is just a tall, it's like half a liter size bottle with a white screw-on plastic cap. So I topped a couple of bottles off like that, and one of the bottles I decided to put chia seeds into the bottle, and I didn't really know how much to put in or like at what point to put the chia seeds in or anything like that. So yeah, it was like raspberries and chia seeds in this thing, and again, it was just like a regular like bottle you would buy for yourself at the store. And I put it up in the closet, and then you're supposed to burp the bottles every like 2 or 3 days so that they don't pop off, because the SCOBY or whatever's left over, the probiotics feed off of the sugar, and the byproduct of that is the gas, the bubbles. And so one morning, again, the house is empty with the exception of my room and a poker card table and a Home Depot bucket downstairs. And the house is going to close in like 2 weeks, week and a half. And one morning I go to get ready for work. I take a shower. I come back in my room. There's this strange smell. And I couldn't figure, it was like vinegary or whatever. I was like, all right. I go into my closet to grab a shirt, and I see like a little chia seed on one of my dress shirts that was hanging on a hanger. And then I look, and there's like more chia seeds. And then I look up, and it looked like an alien had just blown its brains out. Like there was literally chia seeds across the entire ceiling. It was like a 6 foot wide closet, 5.5 feet or whatever, and it was covered in chia seeds, and like It looked like brains were just like dripping down. So anyway, I saw that. I went to work, and I was going to come back after work to clean it up. And in the meantime, my mom came and stopped by the house. And the neighbor said that she was yelling so loudly that the neighbor across the street was able to hear my mom inside the house yelling. I wasn't home, but my mom called me, and I was at work, and pick up the phone, and she's yelling at me. And I told her, if you don't stop yelling at me, I'm going to hang up on you. She didn't stop yelling at me, so I hung up on her. And then she calls me back again, and then she's still yelling, so I hung up on her again. And at this point, it was like later in the day, so I was working out of a warehouse at the time, so I pulled my truck into the warehouse. My parents were at this point later looking for me. They drove past the warehouse, saw that my truck wasn't out there, and so they left. And yeah, my mom ended up cleaning it up with the neighbor. Again, I was going to clean it up. I just hadn't had the time yet. But they were selling the house, and so my mom was. That's my my last time I brewed kombucha. Yep.